Hello everybody, and welcome back to the World Cup 2021. Round of 16 is continuing on now. Ain't no breaks on this train. The next game we have on stream for you guys is going to be losers bracket matchup. Going to be determining one of the two teams you'll see here who will be going home, and the other one will be progressing on. It's between Uruguay and the Philippines, two relative newcomers to the knockout stages. Time for them to show what we can do. I am Doomsday, and in the cast right now, it's an absolute pleasure. It's Mr. Dolan. What's going on, mate? Finally get a chance to cast with you.
Hello, Doomsday, finally, yes. We have been joking for many years about how we've never, ever casted with each other. The stars have never aligned until now, finally. And we get to see our 32nd seed Uruguay against the 17th seed Philippines.
So a lot of the times, these two generally got stuck in groups in the group stage era of OWC. They're one of those teams that get through it originally, but they'd have a hard time trying to get out of those groups. But Philippines last year had a nice little run as well, getting through the qualifiers and getting some good bracket stage matches. But Uruguay here have not actually played in a knockout stage since like the third OWC. It's been a very long time since Uruguay have been able to play at this level. It's awesome to see them make it finally.
Yeah, their first World Cup in many, many years, so they're definitely looking to get some points on the board at least, make some memories, maybe pull out a big win here. But the Philippines have been steadily improving, as you've said, over the years. They're one of those teams that have gone from just barely being able to qualify to a slow threat. So we'll see what they can do here. The ban's coming through. Uruguay are banning Hidden 2.
The low AR, getting rid of the more weird gimmicky stuff. They're certainly not much of a hidden team, Uruguay. They do have a couple very capable players on it. The Philippines have certainly got more in that regard. It's a good ban.
Now we'll see where the Philippines go with this one. Will there be a NoMod 1 ban? You have to wonder.
Well, we've seen it a lot last week, didn't we? No one likes playing NoMod 1s in tournaments. That RNG factor of raw aim. I mean, this NoMod 1, I'd say it's a little bit more comfortable than last week's, although it's far more, raw mechanics intensive. But it's kind of got more of a comfy flow. Still got that RNG though. I think it's still going to be not massively popular. I feel like Philippines would have a stronger sort of raw aim team though against Uruguay, but again, it's that RNG factor, right?
Yeah, and the Philippines are taking quite a bit of time here for their ban. They may be stuck between a few different maps, but it is going to be double time 3.
I think that one makes sense. Uruguay had a nice set of scores on the equivalent map last week. I mean, they played against the US, they didn't win it, but they did have some nice scores. 3 near 1 million scores on that. Then again, Philippines had a very good score on that as well, but definitely one of Uruguay's stronger performances.
Mm-hmm. And Uruguay are going to open up the match with NoMod 5.
Oh, mate.
Oh boy.
The crack collab. Oh, dude, this background is next level, by the way. If we're ranking these maps by the background, I think this one takes the cake, honestly.
I think the diff name really just speaks for itself.
It really does. Speedy speed. I mean, with the DT3 ban, that wasn't really a speed map. This one's far more just raw tapping focused. Lots of fast bursts and consistent bursts all the way through this. This map doesn't really let up with those the entire time.
Alright, looks like the players are set. Just waiting for the referee to get things squared away. And there is, bottom left of the screen, daanit, the team captain for Uruguay. Long-time captain, yes. I believe you said it was one of the very early OWCs was the last time we saw Uruguay. Was he a part of that roster?
I don't think he was playing way back then. But ever since, I think past the group stage era, he's captained every single time. He's at least been on the team every single time since then. What, 2017 or so, I think? So yeah, he's been waiting for his moment to get here, for sure.
Well, here's another opportunity for him and his team. Uruguay and Philippines in the round of 16.
Here we go. Fighting for their lives here, their tournament lives. Doesn't happen too often for these guys. They don't want it to end early. Let's see.
So far, just a slight accuracy advantage for Uruguay. Ooh, early miss there from Milanga. I don't know how you pronounce that name, to be honest.
With Milanga. Actually, it's quite interesting to see him. This is his first map in the tournament. He didn't even play qualifiers.
Really?
His very first map, yeah.
Saving him. Well, unfortunately, misses coming in from Uruguay, as well as zonelouise and Xyloz from the Philippines. Kazuki is going to trade one of those back, so 2 misses apiece, but Milanga was struggling a bit more than others on the Philippines, and Kazuki will find yet another miss.
Well, Kazuki's accuracy is very good. Just finding those little inconsistencies, it's costing him.
And it is a 2v2 right now, and actually Uruguay are slowly pulling this back, even though Kazuki and Milanga find another miss. Rebo and daanit doing a very good job here.
The 2 FCs to 1 here in favour of Uruguay, you know. Yeah, the 2 main carries, I'd say, for this team, daanit and Rebo, putting in a shift on this first map.
Yeah, I didn't see that elki had dropped. That's why the score had started shifting. It's only Hyok for the Philippines, and elki will find yet another miss. So Uruguay have about a third of the map left, and they're looking good, building a slight advantage here.
A slightly easier section here, probably the only real break section, I'd say. Them getting straight into more speed all the way to the end after this. It's still so close. The recoveries from Philippines looking real peachy.
Yeah, this is quite a comeback, though, from Uruguay here, but this is still in dangerous territory for Uruguay. The Philippines are still there. They've got Hyok, and they've got supporting combos from Xyloz and zonelouise as we get some quiet lag here.
Building tension.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, the desync.
Well,
we may never know.
Oh, Xyloz breaks, though. That's more for Uruguay there.
And elki. Yeah, Uruguay looking very good. There are no breaks coming in on their side despite the desync. And it looks like Uruguay are going to come through here and win this one by about 280,000 points. A strong opening pick.
Yeah, really strong, really strong. Got a bit of desync at the end there, but in the end, we see Uruguay will take first blood here. 2 nice FCs from their 2 big players. daanit and Rebo, that's exactly what they will want in a game like this. Fantastic start for the newcomers here.
Yeah, especially from daanit, the captain. 99.3% AC, 12 100s, and 26 100s coming out of Rebo. Very respectable scores there. Hyok also putting in some work for the Philippines. Unfortunately, Uruguay, the stronger team performance.
The next pick will go to the Philippines, so they'll have an opportunity to try and fire one back. We saw Hyok there with the FC. He's going to be so important. He absolutely dominated in the qualifiers, and he had a good game last week. Although he didn't play every map, which kind of surprised me. Definitely one of the players that he will need to perform for this team throughout this tournament.
True. Also, as we get the pick coming in here from the Philippines, it's going to be free mod 1. We see that France have taken first blood over Malaysia. And they lead at 1-0.
Okoro with the top score there. Well, breaking out some of that free mod then. Philippines' first pick. Getting stuck into some more gimmicky stuff. That CS5 AR8 styling in free mod. Low AR on the hidden, small circle size for the hard rock. Very linear aim focused and very burst streamy this. Very aim focused sort of lower AR man.
We are seeing some substitutions. We see LilyFlower, Rammu for the Philippines. It looks like Uruguay are going to get one sub in. It's going to be Raby coming in here.
Oh, he's probably going to be coming in for the hidden for Uruguay. He's one of their core hidden players. So no doubt he's going to be taking the low AR, right? Because this is the first free mod low approach rate map we've seen in this tournament. Last week's didn't have an AR8. He could also be no-modding though. Maybe just taking that no-mod low AR sort of comfort, but it's probably going to be hidden. As for the Philippines though, I'm looking at them as who's going to be taking the hidden. Not too sure. It could be Hyuk. Although maybe they'll put him on the no-mod and just guarantee a higher score from him. They have a few players that could deal with this on AR8. Rammu could do it as well. Maybe LilyFlower could take this one too. There's a few. They have choices.
And the Philippines do have quite a bit of choices looking at their roster.
They have a lot of depth, Philippines. Honestly, a strong team, pretty underseeded. At least in my opinion, from the qualifiers. They have a good skill ceiling and they have plenty of choices when it comes to gimmicky stuff like this. I don't think Uruguay have that luxury, to be honest. On gimmicks, they do have to rely on, one player to take the hit on a low AR hidden.
Yeah, that's usually how we see the numbers advantage play out on the stronger overall rosters. The Philippines are going to be able to field a stronger 2-3 man roster on more of these maps than Uruguay is. Uruguay's going to have a few maps they can compete on maybe here, but the Philippines are going to have, as you said, they've got just so much depth compared to Uruguay. So they're going to have to use that to their advantage to get some points on the board here. And a lot of people have them winning this match by 5-0, 5-1, 5-2 on pick'ems. So Uruguay is out to ruin some pick'ems, and we see some over-modding coming in. Good lord, yeah. No mods. Everyone is modding. What is NoMod? Get out! This is OWC!
Long have we waited. AR10 activated.
Oh my goodness. Philippines will have Rammu and LilyFlower on HDHR. Rebo is HDHR as well. So it looks like the Philippines are going to have a slight advantage in terms of the mods, but Uruguay are going to be keeping up with some over-modding of their own.
Yeah, I suppose we saw this earlier actually as well. The overmodding on this was really strong in the Germany-Australia game. It's, I guess people just really want to take the AR10 small circle size over AR8 no-mod. It's just player preference, man.
Yep, Raby and Kazuki and daanit triple miss from Uruguay at the start. Only Rebo holding combo for Uruguay, the hidden hard rock. And still full FCs for the Philippines early on. LilyFlower will find that first miss for the Philippines, though, as I say that.
A strong opening in the early rounds on this map. So the harder patterns to come, but certainly it opens up quickly, and the Philippines dealt with it very well.
Yeah, and Uruguay just, that triple miss at the start's really going to set them back here, considering this map isn't super duper long. It's about 3 minutes, so there's still time here, but it's going to require a meltdown from the Philippines on their own right.
It's not a long map, this. It's not a long. I mean, with Rebo still FCing, they do have a foothold in this. We are seeing some breaks from Philippines. They're down in FC.
Oh, but there goes the lone FC for Uruguay and a double miss as well to boot. That's a full combo reset from Uruguay, and that is going to pretty much seal it. I guess Uruguay felt like, it's not our pick. we might as well just try to overmod and see if something good happens.
It's definitely for the comfort. They'd rather play the AR-10 than the AR-8, but it seems like the mechanics just push them a little bit too much in this instance. Philippines have that ability. Hyok raking on the low AR hidden though, only just now. But they still have Rammu hidden hard rock. They're fine. As we get into the big drop now in just a moment.
And now at the break, the Philippines are going to be able to see that they've pretty much secured this point as long as they just limp it home. Real unfortunate there for Uruguay.
It seems to have caught them out a little bit. They had some decent combos, but you can tell by the accuracies that they are holding on a little bit, the Uruguay. This would be one where they just have to lick their wounds and come back next map. Philippines looking far stronger on this one in particular.
Yeah, this is going to be a match for Uruguay where they are going to have to win as many of their own picks as possible. Because the Philippines aren't going to be able to exploit their depth like they have here on this free mod. 1-1.
As clean as you like. Both teams winning their own picks, so it's about as good as they'd hope for, I'd imagine. Big win though for the Philippines, and that is a nice hidden hard rock 4 combo right there from Rammu. Very nicely done. Gotta say, there's a few good accuracies around the board though. Rebo with 98.9, zonelouise with a 99.5 almost, slider break. That's tragic.
Oh, the slider break just in the middle of the map to kind of get score capped. You hate to see it. Would have been an absolute monster score had it not been for the slider break. But Rammu coming in clutch, 1.1 million points. And also, we see that France now have a 2-0 lead over Malaysia, taking a break point.
Yeah, big win on the NoMod 5, the speed map, winning by over 800k. So France with a good start there.
Alright, it looks like Uruguay are going to pick NoMod 2 here.
It's stream time. Mash your keys. Just over 190 BPM stream map this. But mostly on the flow aim focus as opposed to the stamina focus, although this one does have a little bit of an element of stamina where, you know, maybe the 4th player might struggle a little bit on the tapping, but for the most part this one is all about big old stream spacing, winding, wiggling streams, comfortable shapes, but just widely spaced. 3 minutes.
Few substitutions. We will see Xyloz and Rondro checking in for Philippines and Uruguay respectively. No surprise to see Rammu in for the Philippines, coming off that brilliant hidden hard rock score.
Yeah, you keep your players in that are on form. Unless they absolutely struggle on a map, you want to keep them in. Rammu is versatile enough at this level, and has a very good skill cap, should be able to cover a lot of the maps at this level.
Well, here we go into round number 3. It's a 1-1 game. Uruguay looking to extend the lead.
Yep, and you mentioned bringing Rondro in. Rondro did come in a lot for the speed maps in the last match. Did really well on the speedy NoMod last week. Didn't see a stream map, but I imagine he's in for those too. Freaking out that stamina.
Here we go. Early miss from Kazuki and Rondro and zonelouise as well. That will favor the Philippines.
Yeah, there actually was a few coughs. I think Rondro completely whiffed some of the early streams there. Plenty of time though. Good start from the Philippines.
I mean, actually, the accuracy advantage is going to be in favor of Uruguay. Even though Kazuki and Rondro find another miss, the Philippines will only just now take the lead.
Actually, looking at it, yeah, the accuracies are very even. The combos are going to be deciding it now. But I guess, yeah, the opening exchange is pretty even in terms of the hack.
Yeah, a few players still looking very comfortable. Daanit for Uruguay looking very nice, as well as Hyok for the Philippines. But yeah, it is just those combos making the difference, as you said, Dooms.
Yeah, those early breaks. They seem to have adjusted now, though. Found some comfort, but the map doesn't stop. And it only gets more spaced here. See who coughs first.
Oh, and it'll be Rondro.
Oh, they're smaller combo, but he was rebuilding. Oh, there goes Kazuki as well. That's pretty big.
Xyloz will trade one of them. Oh, Rammu's going to trade the other, and Xyloz missing again. Hyuk is down. That is big. Rondro and daanit missing, though. That is going to hurt Uruguay. They would have had a chance to run it back. But daanit, that was the one miss Uruguay did not need to have. But, I mean, the Philippines essentially have little to no combo.
Yeah, well, they have two FC, or one FC to one, rather. Rebo was FCing, and as well as zonelouise with the recovery. Still very even as we get into the second half of this. Low spacing. Yeah.
That's tragic. If daanit had held his combo, Uruguay would have had a chance to storm back in the second half. Now they're going to need some more misses to come out from the Philippines. Oh, and Xyloz will find one. But it's just Rebo versus zonelouise. Rondro finding yet another miss. Oh, zonelouise goes down. That is huge.
Massive even. Rebo now has a big opportunity here. The map does not slow down here.
Coming to the end. Rebo has a chance for Uruguay. Misses are coming in on both sides from Kazuki and Rondro. daanit is getting that supporting combo up. Rebo goes down. Rammu's down. It's Hyuk versus... Kazuki finds the break. And the Philippines are going to be able to limp this one home, it looks like. And they will.
Oh man, that was intense. Dude, that was so close. It was just coming down to that final battle right there at the end. Hyuk, I say one of the linchpins for the Philippines, does it again when they need him. The one miss with that act though. But it was that ending combo holding his nerve.
Got very close at the end, and daanit with a brilliant performance. Just two misses probably at the worst possible times for those misses to come out. Got score capped super hard. Unfortunate for Uruguay. Rebo popping off, just could not get it done. 67k the margin.
Brutal way to lose a break point, but a great fight. Philippines now though, they can take that, bank a strong pick. The free mod, that low AR free mod did extremely well for the Philippines, right? There's no low AR other than that. I mean, there is AR9. The other free mod is AR9 hidden, but that's not nearly as spooky as the AR8 hidden would be. It wouldn't force as many hard rocks. But there's plenty more gimmicks to use.
And Hidden 1 is going to be the pick from the Philippines. And that makes sense. Uruguay banning out Hidden 2. The Philippines want to capitalize off the break point. They'll dive right into Hidden 1.
Yes, I think this might have been the other strongest pick in this instance. I don't think Uruguay were particularly confident on the last Hidden 1. That was a very different map to this one. The last one had weird kick sliders and mild techie patterns. This one, though, is more about raw pattern aim. Lots of squares, lots of symmetry aim and shapes. Things like that on wide spacing.
Also, don't know if we did mention this, but Malaysia picking up a pretty massive break point on France. They now only trail by 1 on free mod 1. 700k margin, so that pick going backfiring pretty big time for France.
Yeah, it was a big win for Malaysia, so
Rampax popping off was the MVP of that one. But how about Rebo? Still coming away with the MVP in the lobby, despite Uruguay not getting the point.
He's had a great start to this match, Rebo. Again, it was super important that he's done it, and at the moment, he is definitely putting in a shift. He's doing his bit.
Yep, and we see some substitutions coming in as we see the star command in. FDX checking in for Uruguay.
Maybe obviously FDX fill in for the hidden maps.
So we expect this one to be favored for the Philippines, but we'll see how Uruguay's hidden roster handles this one. Quite a long map, 4 minutes long.
You know what though, with this one being more about raw aim, even if it is the awkward kind of aim, it's the sort of map that has that NoMod 1 effect somewhat, where it can bring out those silly misses. So hey, this one might be a bit more up Uruguay's alley to potentially take, but no doubt a big breakpoint if they can win this against the Philippines.
Oh, would be massive. Only an opening miss from daanit from Uruguay. So far, 7 FCs aside from him. Very close. But often with hidden, it's often just about not rushing yourself. Because often the impulse is to see it and then try to immediately click it.
It's easily done, especially when you're under pressure to just not miss.
And Raby is going to find the second miss for Uruguay. Philippines still with 4-way FCs, extending the advantage now over 50k and growing. And Raby really struggling now here, quarter of the way through. FDX will drop as well.
Now this first chorus, look at the Philippines, rock solid, all 4 of those accuracies, sitting pretty.
This is a
Very
monster score from the Philippines. And Uruguay honestly just doing their best. Rebo is going to go down. He had the biggest combo, and now things are not looking so good for Uruguay as the Philippines continues to rock 4-way FCs.
It's not looking good. I think that might be an understatement. This is the second verse, and it is 4 FCs to nothing at all. It's not their strongest pick, but Philippines are not making this result, be doubted at all. Uruguay would have to do something special to match this.
Yeah, Uruguay. That well said, and we're only halfway through, so. The Philippines still have a long way to go, but you see just the power of 4-way FCing a map. This is a top-tier level performance from the Philippines. And finally, they will give up the 4-way FC. Zonelouise will be the first break, but the damage has been done.
They're getting out the second chorus now. They still got 3. Here comes the solo now. Some tricky aim patterns here.
We'll see how Rebo and daanit fare here as they're rebuilding their combos. Zonelouise will find the second miss for the Philippines, with still 3 full combos. And we'll see if those 3 FCs hold up through the solo. Oh, and they will.
Still got 3 coming out of that section. This is honestly really good. This is a really good team score so far here from the Philippines. Mightily impressive. Just a shame about Zonelouise's odd little misses. The accuracy is still so good. Nice recoveries though from Uruguay though.
Yeah, nice recoveries from daanit and Rebo here with 2 700 combos. It's just unfortunate that there's nothing they can do. Just their opponents are... They're just simply being outmatched on hidden. But this is just a dominant performance from the Philippines. And they're just looking to bring home a 3-way FC.
Dude, we are doing our best to curse these FC. Yeah. And it hasn't even worked. That's so good. That's so
Look
good.
Look at this. 3.7 million points, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, man. That's actually super good. Incredible, even. That's going to be one of the top scores on the weekend on this map. Maybe not the top. I mean, if someone beats that, it would have been a stupidly good score.
But despite all of this, the best act in the lobby comes from Rebo on Uruguay with a 2 miss and some slider breaks.
Oh, that's just tragic. Tragic.
Oh,
He's been
my
playing so
goodness.
well, Rebo. Oh, man. Yeah,
There's just not much you could say after that. That was just dominance. And Uruguay are just going to fire with double time 2 here. So they're going to speed things up, change up the skill set. They said, let's do anything but what we just did.
Yeah, you want to stay as far away from that as possible. I wouldn't be surprised to see a NoMod 1 after that. I feel like, even though, sure, it's not as awkward, the mechanics on the Philippines after that, I think they can go for a NoMod 1 and fancy their chances.
They definitely could.
Yeah. You know what, though? I think this is actually a really good pick for Uruguay. This sort of pick is the sort of pick that can equalize a match after even, huge turbulence like we just saw on that map.
Well, that's exactly what they need right now, given the situation, too. If the Philippines get a break point here, they'll be up with the pick at match point. Not a situation you want to be in. So this is probably the best time for a pick like that.
It's going to be more about the speed.
But the Philippines have activated their trap card Doomsday. It's Milk Tea.
Dun. It's Milkteaism. This is what happens when you break out the speed. It summons this absolute beast of a player. Super highly ranked. Definitely one of Philippines' key players, especially if they get to the harder maps in this tournament. Going to be super important. Definitely see him in for the speedy picks like this one.
So Milk Tea making his first appearance of the match in this 5th round. We see a Milanga coming back in for Uruguay, along with Kazuki. And Elki going to be the 4th player for the Philippines to round this lobby out.
Yep, this change makes sense. I think it's Elki's first map of this match. Again, another player that comes in for that speed core for the Philippines. We saw Milanga play the fast NoMod as well, so again, he's doing the same sort of thing for the Uruguay, filling in for that speedy stuff. We do see a lot of high scores on these sorts of speed maps, and Uruguay did pretty well on this previously, this sort of map, so hey, I mean, they won on the speedy NoMod 5. Definitely their best bet to try and avoid this match point situation.
It looks like there is going to be an early miss from Elki. And Milk Tea.
Well, very early, yeah. Getting used to the speed, adjusting a little bit. That should equalize pretty soon.
Couple players struggling here in the accuracy department. Ooh, and a double miss from Uruguay coming out from daanit and Milanga. I got it right that time.
Hey.
With the Philippines now extending the advantage. It's just some accuracy holding them back here. Milk Tea and Elki kind of keeping the Philippines from absolutely running away with this. Rebo and Kazuki, the only FCs for Uruguay. Elki is basically good for an FC. Just had that very early slip up.
The accuracy is fairly even, slightly in favor of the Philippines, but combo-wise, Uruguay still in it. Oh, Kazuki with the break though, right there. Oh man, they really are behind now after that.
Rebo.
Oh dear, it's all falling apart for Uruguay now.
Oh, they needed those combos to hold. Sadly, it is all falling apart indeed, and the Philippines are now checking out into the final quarter of the map.
Tactical miss.
Tactical miss.
The classic.
What is it? The Milk Tea method now? Oh no, my bad. He was calling his own tactical miss in advance.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I see. It lures your team into a full sense of security.
He warned us. Okay, it's okay, guys. He warned us.
You know what, though? It really is with Team Uruguay now. Or it was. Actually, no, it still is. Definitely still is. Daanit, 800 combo. Kazuki, 400. But there's no time left, sadly.
Yeah, sadly, it's just no time. End of the map. Everything did fall apart there for the Philippines, though. And Hyuk will find some misses at the end. But the Philippines will still come away with the break point. The damage was done well in advance and could not be reversed. 4-1, Philippines.
Our top score will go to Daanit with a near 900k. But his team was just slightly too short in this matchup. That early combo from the Philippines was too strong, holding through to the end there. It was close in the end, though. Bit closer than they probably would have hoped, but the important thing is they're on match point right now, and they have the next pick. What do they do?
Uruguay, they need 4 in a row to remain in the World Cup. Tournament lives on the line. This is kind of an interesting situation to be in here, because Uruguay have been going towards speed a little bit. There's no more hidden.
Yeah, they're going to have to go with something a bit different. I think there's a few maps they could still use. You could go into the free mod again. It's AR9, but I don't think it's going to force all those hard rocks in Awicho. But, you know, you could go into something like those NoMod 3 or 4. Which are more troll-focused maps. Something like that they could make use of, but Uruguay should have the players to deal with those sorts of maps. Yeah, they are going into free mod then, so they are going for more mods.
And I don't think we're going to see as much overmodding on this one as we did previously, at least not from Uruguay's end.
Not as much, no. You could see some more hard rocks though. I think we still could see a couple because this is big circle size. Circle size 3.5. So hard rock actually keeps the circle size pretty doable. And some players prefer to read that, especially on AR10. But I don't think we're going to see a whole sea of overmodding unless they want to be creative, you know. This map's one that's... You can compare it somewhat to the hidden one we saw, that hidden aim map. Lots of pattern aim and lots of awkward symmetry aim in this, except it's on that lower approach rate and the larger circle size. There are some pretty spooky patterns in this that sort of come out of nowhere. The map's comfy for a while, and then these patterns will just snap into place, and it's really easy to find silly misses, even if you know they're coming. You know what, after seeing Hidden 1, I wouldn't doubt the Philippines to deal with this one just fine.
Yeah, I do not doubt them on aim like that. 3-way FC on that map. The only good news for Uruguay here is that only one player has to play Hidden.
Yep, just the one. I wonder who it's going to be though. We're not seeing Raby for this one. That looks like Rebo. It's going to be taking the Hidden. I think I just spotted there.
Yep.
Oh, there is a lot of overmods though.
Oh man.
On Uruguay.
What, Uruguay, I like this. They live by the sword or they shall die by the sword. I love it.
Go big or go home, dude.
Yes. So we've got 4 hard rocks total in the lobby, 2 hiddens, 2 NoMods. Uruguay will have the score advantage based off of mods. As long as those mods can hold combo.
You know what? In that case, if the Philippines are expected to do super well again, the mod combo will allow Uruguay to have that little advantage. Might actually play into their hands if Philippines pop off again and Uruguay can match them. It's a ballsy tactic, but I can see why after that Hidden 1 ridiculous performance.
And right now, I mean, the score is flickering back and forth. It's just barely in favor of the Philippines right now, just the accuracy advantage. But Rammu is going to be finding the first miss. daanit is going to trade one of them back, so That is one hidden down for the Philippines, one hard rock down for Uruguay. That should favor the Philippines, I believe. Oh, Kazuki.
The square. The squares, not the geometry.
And now, Philippines really going to be doing some damage after that second miss. It is 3 FCs to 2, so it's not all over for Uruguay, but nearing the halfway mark, they are going to need things to turn around in their direction fairly soon.
It's popping slightly easier as well, allows Philippines to run away a little bit.
The lead is over 150k right now and growing. So the halfway mark, we'll see if anyone gets score capped here. Get a little bit of client lag.
That's just before the hard part as well.
Thanks!
Tension, dude. What's it gonna
Awesome!
be? What's it gonna be?
Who's gonna miss?
There we go. Oh, it's FDX.
FDX, no.
No, not
No.
for Uruguay. They only have the hidden FC.
And things are not looking so good for Uruguay. FDX finding another missile that jumps. Rebo and daanit also finding misses too. Philippines, damage done. That may be it.
Just out of the hard part as well. A slow part here as well, just to give them a little bit more free combo. And they're doing it again. They have 3 FCs. Hyok on that hard rock as well. I mean, Rammu only had the 1 miss, I think. This is a good aim team. Good aim team here in Philippines. Other teams may want to watch out here, because it looks like they're going to be going through.
Yes, indeed. Coming into the ending here, if there's one thing to take away from this, other teams in the tournament, Philippines, they're very good at aim. They can aim.
Oh, Hyok
Sure, we
with the
knew
miss.
this before, but this is just nuts. And they're still going to hold 2 FCs through the ending hard part from zonelouise and LilyFlower as the misses come out from across the board. zonelouise will actually find a miss, and there's only 1 FC remaining. And that's
No.
0. No.
No FCs remaining. The ending, again, it comes out with those spooky aim patterns. It's caught everyone. The Philippines know they had that at the break.
Yep. And that is going to do it. Uruguay are going to be sent home from the 2021 World Cup. The Philippines will advance in the losers bracket 5-1. Uruguay will at least take a point.
Yeah, they do take that point win, but sadly, this is where their OWC journey ends this year. But it's been lovely seeing Uruguay play this year and finally make it through. But it wasn't to be here. Philippines will be progressing in the losers bracket.
Yeah, good job on Uruguay for qualifying for the World Cup. Hopefully we'll see them back next year, but the Philippines going to be victorious today, 5-1. They will be advancing further in the losers bracket.
Anyways, I think we need to quickly switch over because there is another
Yes,
game going
indeed.
on right now. I think